What's going on, everybody? So I hope that you are gearing up for an amazing new year. Happy New Year's Eve if you're seeing this video. So this video is going to have a lot of information coming at you today, but I'm going to try to keep it reasonably short and sweet. So I was originally going to do a video on the whole chemical makeup and the whole thing that's going on in your brain, but I think Covenant Eyes has its own book that is honestly worth a read. And I would rather get that in your guys' hands and leave it in the description section. I'm going to leave two links today, rather. One is going to be on the chemical effects that are going on in your brain, which I really, truly encourage you guys to read. The other one's going to be on updated 2025 stats on the industry. Because of YouTube, I have to be very careful what I say. I want to get that into your hands so you guys are equipped with information. Guys, this is my call to arms for you, okay? It is my encouragement to you. Guys, go read the books. Do the devotionals. That'll be linked in the description section as well. Get the accountability software on your devices. Guys, get yourself free. I've noticed in my analytics, a lot of you guys are watching the videos. You're not watching the entire videos. That's fine, okay? I want the information is there. I want you guys to get the information. I want you guys to pray for me because there's a lot of warfare that goes on behind the scenes for me to do this. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this no matter what. No matter what's going on, I'm going to do this. But I really want you guys to invest in yourself. Go read the books. Do the devotional. And find yourself an accountability partner. And so with that, we're going to segue right into the next part, and that's what you should be looking for in an accountability partner. When looking for an accountability partner, you need to make time, or you need to find someone who can make time. You don't want the time you guys are together to feel rushed. You don't want it to feel artificial. So it's really good to find an accountability partner who is already a friend, someone who already knows you, someone who your guys' relationship is going to already feel authentic, right? Because if the only reason you're reaching out to this person is purely out of accountability, well, then you guys don't have any kind of other interest to talk about aside from, just that topic. So I would say you need someone that you guys can relate. You guys can relate, have conversations. Maybe if you guys are sitting down for breakfast, right? And you guys are drinking coffee or whatever it is you drink, and you're waiting for your meal to come. Maybe the entire time you're talking is not purely about, maybe you guys are talking about other things like the latest movie you saw, what video games you're into, your local sports team, whatever it is that you're into. The next one, I would say, both for you and your accountability partner. This one is more for your accountability partner, is to learn how to listen without really quickly trying to come up with a solution. Now, we as guys are terrible at this. We want to fix problems. We are very goal-oriented. We're not emotional, right? We're very logical. So if you're telling me what your problem is, I'm probably going to want to hurry up and immediately answer you and tell you a solution. The problem with that is you're not really giving the person who needs the accountability room to really express what is going on. Your job as an accountability partner should be to be like a Sherlock Holmes, so to speak, a detective. You want to gather the information, not be quick to interrupt. Listen to what's going on and let the Holy Spirit speak to you and tell you exactly what you might need to tell this person, or what it is you might notice, or is there a pattern? Another good thing to do is to figure out what exactly encourages you, right? Something you should be expressing to your accountability partner, the person that you want to be accountable to, is what you know helps encourage you. It's important to be able to think about the victories. When you fall, if you fall, and you may fall, one of the biggest encouragements is knowing that, number one, you're loved. Number two, that just because you fell down doesn't mean you can't get back up. And when you get back up, it doesn't mean that you can't get back on the horse and ride, get on the bike and ride, or whatever analogy you want to use to get you in the mindset that a slip and a fall is not the end of the world. It's just a chance for you to get back up. And you're going to need to. Small steps add up. Okay? I always say, it's the little victories that eventually win the war. When you're finding yourself going longer periods of time without watching, that might be exactly the small victories starting to add up. Now, maybe instead of it being you managed to make it half a day, now you're making it a full day. Now you're making 2 days. Now you've gone a week. Now you've gone a month. These things add up. It's a snowball effect, right? As you develop momentum, you start to do better. There are going to be times that you're going to be encouraged. There are going to be times that you're going to feel discouraged, right? It's good to know what causes that. If you're discouraged, it's easier to stop the little snowball at the top of the hill before it picks up momentum and becomes a full-blown fall. If it's encouragement, if it's a snowball encouragement at the top of the hill, it's great to figure out what roadblocks you might run into along the way so you can turn around and keep the momentum, right? By removing those roadblocks. Think of it that way. You need to have a battle plan. You need to have preventive steps in place. Okay, so it goes right back to the roadblock. If you're making progress, there's always going to be a setback somewhere. You have to know where those setbacks are going to be. As you find yourself running into mistakes, right? That's the perfect time for you to figure out with your accountability partner how to overcome those setbacks. So maybe, for instance, you go a few weeks, you're doing good, and then suddenly you just feel lonely and depressed and sad and you slip. Well, if you know that that's going to happen every so often, maybe something better to do is, if you know after X amount of weeks that's possibly going to happen, maybe those are the weeks that you should be planning to go out, hang out with friends, go do something, go catch a movie. Find ways to fill that void. There is an old analogy, right? And that's idle time is the devil's playground. You should be filling your calendar. Don't find yourself in a place where you're alone, you have nothing going on, and before you know it, you're doom scrolling on YouTube, Facebook, because sometimes it's actually the moral gray areas that get us. Sometimes it's not you're going to this website or you're going to that website. Sometimes it's actually you're on Amazon. Sometimes it's you're on YouTube. Sometimes you're on Facebook. Sometimes you're in a place where it's like, I don't really think I'm going to run into anything here, and you do. So be mindful of that. That should also be part of your preventive maintenance and your preventive steps, right? Your battle plan. Take the time to really think about what you have to gain on the other side of this. New Year's Eve, people set resolutions. One of those resolutions is losing weight. That's mine. If I don't find a way to encourage myself to think about what's on the other side of my resolution, maybe it's a more healthier me. Maybe it's me gaining the ability to do things like a cartwheel again. Whatever it is, if I don't set that in my mind and have a vision of what my life is going to look like on the other side of this weight loss, then I'm doomed from the start. Again, part of your plan should be thinking about what you have to gain on the other side of this. And in addition to that, you need to think about what you stand to lose if you don't. For me, we'll use the weight loss analogy again. If I don't start to lose this weight, it's going to be bad on my joints. If I don't start to lose this weight, it could potentially mean a shorter life. Those little things start to kind of add a little level of fear where it's like, oh man, I don't want to wind up this way. Those little things, those little concerns can also be fire under our butt to actually make us want to do something more. There comes a point that you have a one-on-one accountability partner, but you may need to bring more people in. Maybe even your spouse if you're married. My wife has been both my accountability partner and she's just kind of been that support system from the beginning. So it wasn't as if I needed to bring in my wife. But there have been times that I have brought in counselors. There have been times I've brought in pastors to have a conversation on the subject, right? Because you need encouragement, you need a good word, and the Bible makes it abundantly clear that there is wisdom in the counsel of many. Sometimes it helps to have more than one person who you know they're reliable, okay? You know their track record, you know their walk. This might be a good person to also have in your corner that you can turn to, right? You don't just go get any average Joe Schmo, right? You want to have someone who they've walked this journey and they have victory in this journey. I don't want to talk to, and this is no offense to anybody who's like 1 year married, right? That's awesome. That's amazing. And that isn't even to say that there isn't wisdom you can share. But I'm going on 10 years married. There's more that I can gain from the person who's been married for 20 years than I can for 5 years. Again, no disrespect to the 5-year marriage. That's incredible. But there's something about that 20-year marriage that they've been doing it and they've seen more weathered storms and rough, turbulent waters, and they've navigated that. Those are the people I want to know how they got where they got. Okay, guys. So with that, God bless you. I love you guys. Check the description section. Take advantage of the links. The stuff is free. If you're not taking advantage of it, you're not trying. That's just a little tough love. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. Your sobriety, your victory, only you can sit there and truly accomplish. You need to invest in yourself. Love you guys. Happy New Year.